Hello, and welcome to episode 8 of Everyday English Unlocked, the podcast where you learn natural, everyday English just by listening to real conversations. I'm Edward.
And I'm Victoria. We're so happy you're here with us today.
So, just a quick reminder of how this show works. You simply listen to Victoria and me having a normal conversation in English. We talk about everyday topics, and as you listen, you pick up real English, the kind of English that people actually use every day.
And then at the end, we go back and explain some of the useful words and phrases we used. So you get the conversation first, and then the lesson. It's a great way to learn.
Absolutely. Now, today's topic is one of my personal favourites. We are talking about British food.
Oh yes, now this is going to be a fun one. I already feel hungry just thinking about it.
Same. We're going to chat about our favourite dishes, the foods we don't like, whether we enjoy cooking, and maybe a funny story or two. So let's get into it.
Okay, so Edward, let's start with the big question. What is your favourite British food?
Okay, so this is genuinely a hard question, because I love so many things. But if I had to choose just one, I think I'd say a proper Sunday roast.
Oh, yes.
There's just something so special about it, right? You've got your roast chicken or beef, roast potatoes, vegetables, gravy, and of course, Yorkshire puddings.
Yorkshire puddings, absolutely.
I just love the whole experience of it. It's not just a meal, it's like a ritual. Sunday roast brings the whole family together. My mum used to make it every single Sunday when I was growing up, and honestly, the smell when you walk into the kitchen, it's just incredible.
That's so lovely. Yeah, it really does feel like a proper occasion, doesn't it?
Exactly. What about you, Victoria? What's your favourite?
So I've thought about this, and I think mine has to be fish and chips. Classic, I know. But I'm a huge fan. There's nothing better than proper fish and chips from a good chippy, wrapped in paper, eaten outside on a cold day.
Right, yeah.
I think the key thing for me is the batter. The batter has to be crispy. If it's soft or soggy, I'm not interested.
Oh, absolutely. Soggy batter is a crime.
It really is. And salt and vinegar on top. Lots of vinegar for me.
Yeah. Do you put mushy peas on yours?
I used to hate mushy peas, to be honest, but I've actually grown to like them. What about you?
I love them. I can't get enough of them. Right, so that brings me to, are there any British foods that you don't like? Things that are very British, but you just can't stand?
Oh yes, Marmite. I really cannot stand Marmite.
No.
I know. They even say the slogan is, love it or hate it, and I'm firmly in the hate it camp. It's so salty and strong. I just don't understand it at all.
Oh, no way. I absolutely love Marmite on toast. It's one of my favourite breakfasts. Thick toast, loads of butter, and a thin layer of Marmite. Perfect.
That sounds awful to me, but each to their own. What about you? Is there anything British that you don't like?
You know what? I'd have to say black pudding. I know it's a big part of a full English breakfast, but I just can't do it. I know what it's made of, and yeah, it's not for me.
Yeah, I totally get that. For our listeners who don't know, black pudding is made from, well, it's a type of sausage made with blood. It sounds worse than it tastes, I think, but I understand if it puts people off.
Yeah, exactly. Now, speaking of the full English, I do love the rest of it though. Eggs, bacon, sausages, baked beans, toast. That is a proper breakfast.
Oh, completely agree. A full English on a weekend morning when you have time to sit and enjoy it. Brilliant.
Right. Now, do you enjoy cooking, Victoria? Like, do you actually cook much at home?
So, I enjoy it when I have time. I think I'm a pretty decent cook. Nothing fancy, but I can make a good shepherd's pie, I can do a roast. I bake sometimes. I tend to cook simple things that taste really good. But honestly, I find cooking quite relaxing after a long day. You just focus on what you're doing. You're not thinking about emails or work stuff. I find it clears my head.
That's a good way to think about it. I think I enjoy cooking too, but I have to be honest, I'm not that great at it. I'm okay at the basics, but anytime I try to do something more complicated, it tends to go wrong.
Oh really? Like what? Have you ever had a real disaster in the kitchen?
Huh. Okay, so funny story. A few years ago, I decided to make a Victoria sponge cake, which is, for our listeners, a classic British cake with jam and cream in the middle. It sounds simple enough, right?
Right, yeah.
I followed the recipe. I was very careful. I put it in the oven, and then I completely forgot about it. I got distracted watching football, and when I finally remembered and opened the oven, it was absolutely burnt to a crisp. Like, completely black.
Oh no.
And the whole flat smelled of smoke for days. My neighbours were not happy. I've never tried to bake a cake since.
Oh, that's so funny. I think most people have had a moment like that. I once tried to make scones, like for a proper afternoon tea, and they came out completely flat, more like biscuits, very sad little scones.
Sad scones, that's quite a visual.
Ha! They tasted all right, but they just looked terrible. I put the cream and jam on them anyway and pretended everything was fine.
That's the British way. Just carry on. Now, speaking of afternoon tea, do you actually like that whole thing? The scones, the little sandwiches, the tea.
I love it. I think it's such a nice tradition. It's not something most people do every day, it's more of a treat. But if you go somewhere for a proper afternoon tea, it feels quite special and elegant, and I do love a good cup of tea. Tea is basically a food group in Britain, isn't it?
Absolutely. We drink so much tea, and it really does fix everything. Stressed? Have a tea. Bad day? Tea. Not sure what to do? Tea first, then decide. It's just part of British culture.
That's so true. Right, one more food I want to talk about. Beans on toast. Because I feel like people outside of Britain find this very strange, but I think it's brilliant.
Oh, 100%. Beans on toast is the ultimate comfort food. Quick, cheap, easy, and honestly delicious. I think people outside of Britain imagine it sounds terrible, but when you actually eat it, it's so good.
Exactly. Especially with a bit of cheese on top, melted under the grill and a squirt of brown sauce. Oh, that's dangerous because I could eat it every day.
Same. It's one of those things that's really simple, but it just hits the spot every time. Okay, I think this is a good moment to move on to our language section. We've talked a lot, and there were some really useful phrases in there.
Yes. Okay, so this is the part of the show where we look back at some of the expressions and phrases we used and explain what they mean and how you can use them. So let's start.
The first phrase is, I'm a big fan of. I used this when I talked about the Sunday roast. For example, I'm a big fan of a proper Sunday roast. This means you really like something. You can use it for food, hobbies, people, films, anything. For example, I'm a big fan of Italian food. Or, she's a big fan of that band.
Great one. The next phrase is, it's not my cup of tea. This is a very common British expression. It means something is not to your liking. You don't enjoy it. For example, I could say, horror films aren't really my cup of tea. Or, he tried sushi, but it just wasn't his cup of tea. Interestingly, the expression uses cup of tea as a metaphor for something you enjoy. So if something is not your cup of tea, it's not for you.
A perfect British expression. Okay, phrase number 3. I can't get enough of. I said this about mushy peas. I can't get enough of them. This phrase means you love something so much that you always want more. You can use it like this. I can't get enough of this TV show. Or, she can't get enough of chocolate cake.
Love that one. Now, number 4 is the phrase, to be honest. This is a very common phrase in spoken English. We say it to show that we are being open or direct about something. For example, to be honest, I don't really like mushrooms. Or, to be honest, I was a little nervous. It's often shortened to honestly at the start of a sentence too, like, honestly, it was the best meal I've ever had.
really useful phrase. You'll hear that in almost every English conversation. Number 5 is the question structure. Have you ever... Victoria asked me, have you ever had a real disaster in the kitchen? This is the present perfect tense, and we use it to ask about experiences in someone's life. We don't know exactly when. We just want to know if it happened at any point. So you can ask, have you ever tried sushi? Or, have you ever been to London? It's a great way to start a conversation.
Perfect. And number 6 is I tend to. I said, I tend to cook simple things. Tend to means something is your habit. It's what you usually do. For example, I tend to wake up early on weekdays. Or, he tends to add too much salt when he cooks. It's a really natural way to talk about your habits or patterns.
Brilliant. Number 7. Each to their own. Victoria said this when she found out I like Marmite and she doesn't. Each to their own means that different people like different things, and that's okay. We use it when we accept that someone has a different taste or opinion. For example, I don't like spicy food, but each to their own. It's a friendly, non-judgmental way to disagree.
And finally, number 8, the phrase hits the spot. Edward said beans on toast hits the spot every time. This expression means that something is exactly what you needed or wanted in that moment. It's often used with food or drink. For example, after a long walk, a hot cup of tea really hits the spot. Or, that sandwich was perfect, it really hit the spot. It's very natural to use in casual conversation.
8 great phrases. I hope those are really useful for you. Try to use them in your own conversations. That's the best way to really learn them.
And that brings us to the end of episode 8 of Everyday English Unlocked. Thank you so much for listening today. We really hope you enjoyed our chat about British food. And maybe you even feel a little hungry now.
I certainly do. Remember, the best thing you can do to improve your English is to keep listening and keep practicing. Even if you don't understand every single word, that's completely okay. Your ears are getting used to the rhythm and the sound of natural English, and that is so valuable.
Absolutely. And why not try talking about your own favourite foods in English? Even just a few sentences to yourself at home. It really helps. You can use the phrases we explained today as a starting point.
We'll see you in the next episode. Until then, take care, keep practicing, and well done for being here. Bye.
Bye everyone.